Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome again to Montague High School for the season finale. That is the regular season finale in West Michigan Conference action. Tonight, the host Montague Wildcats take on the visiting Ravenna Bulldogs in what could be a very exciting and important contest. As we enter this evening's action, the Wildcats find themselves perched on top with an 11-2 conference record. And the visiting Bulldogs, of course, who you can see on the court now, come into this contest at 10-3. So tonight's contest could be for a potential conference championship. With me here in the booth is Coach Jeff Peterson, Athletic Director Jeff Peterson, teacher Jeff Peterson, and Mr. Jeff Peterson. Welcome, Jeff, to the conclusion of our season. Could be a really exciting game tonight. Looking forward to the contest. Of course, down there we beat the Bulldogs, but they have won 6 straight games, and it could be anybody's game tonight.
Well, they got some excellent athletes out there. Rod Place, Mark Jacobs, and they're not really deep in terms of numbers, but they got some, as I said, excellent athletes, and they're going to play a good ball game against us, I'm sure. Coming in here 10-3 and one notch below us, and every chance in the world climbing up and sharing that title with us, I'm sure the only thing they've got in their mind is win.
Absolutely, and there's more excitement in the air too tonight because of special activities this week at Montague High School. It's coming home week, and tonight is coming home. That's right, folks, not homecoming, but coming home. And you might be able to see, if our camera person can get an eye on it, the decorations on the wall across the way, and behind us, if we could see them, there'd be other decorations. But at any rate, the students at Montague High School have had several days of celebration throughout the past week, and tonight is the culmination of that activity with coming home. Once again, we remark about the Bulldogs season. They've won 6 straight. Their overall record is 13-6, while the Wildcats come in at 17-2. Those 2 losses at the hands of the Vikings and the North Muskegon Norths just last week. Interesting to note, Jeff, that Ravenna's losses have included us and North Muskegon, to which the Wildcats lost last week, as we said, and Oak Ridge was the other conference defeat taken by the Bulldogs. You mentioned the playing quality of the Bulldogs. They have several young players. Besides, 2 sophomores will be in their starting lineup tonight, we believe, and so that could be a good sign for the future of the Bulldogs.
Well, again, they've just played some excellent ball down the stretch, and I suspected that early in the season, coming off their playoff run in football, that they were going to have a little trouble getting the football out of their system and getting the basketball in. And I think that is exactly what happened, is they struggled early on to kind of get the momentum, kind of get the feel of each other and where they were going to be on the court. And they've got that now, and they're playing real excellent ball, as can be seen with the 6 straight wins, as you've mentioned.
6 straight wins, putting their record at 13-6. So if you think about it, they were 7-6 a while ago, and that's an impressive comeback for the Bulldogs. We're about ready to wrap up pregame activities on the court, and we have some special things that will be happening this evening as Coach Jim Tate treks out onto the midcourt area, where we'll be having the introductions of seniors tonight. Senior cheerleaders and senior basketball players. Coach Jim Tate indicating the support that's been so important to our season. Jody Rolenhagen, senior cheerleader, greeted by Roger Finland, high school principal. Christy Finland, also greeted by Roger Finland, her father. Kelly Peterson, daughter of Jeff, next to me here in the booth, also a senior cheerleader. Number 54, Derek Picard, coming onto the court now, a senior basketball player. Kirk Ritter, excuse me, being introduced now. Tom Cedarquist, number 50, a strong inside player for the Cats all year long. Number 40, J.J. Flynn, defensive specialist, but also scored some important buckets. throughout the season. Center Jim Grieve, leading rebounder on the squad, leading field goal percentage shooter. And number 12, Paul Schlaff, the last senior. Crowd giving the cheerleaders and ball players a nice round of applause. And now Coach Tate introducing student Andy Van Bergen singing our national anthem. Andy Van Bergen with a beautiful rendition of the Star Spangled Banner in the tradition of excellent singing that's been presented at the ball games all season long. Now for the starting lineups. First for the Bulldogs from Ravenna. Starting at guard for the Bulldogs. There's been a little mix-up here, I'm afraid, as to who's starting at this point. Checking in at the scorer's table here. At one guard, number 13, 6' 1" center, Rod Place. At the other guard, number 14, 5' 11" sophomore, Terry DeJong. At one forward, number 24, 5'10" sophomore, Steve Crowley. At the other forward, number 21, 6' 3" senior, Mark Jacobs. And at center, number 42, 6' 5" junior, Carl Ketchum. And the coach of the Bulldogs is Coach John Svengros. And now for the starting lineups for the Montague Wildcats. At center, number 32, 6' 3" senior, Jim Grieve. At one forward, number 44, 6' 2" junior, Rob Smith. At the other forward, number 14, 6' 2" sophomore, Doug Slough. At one guard, number 40, 5' 9" senior, J.J. Flynn. And at the other guard, number 12, 6' 1" senior, Paul Schlaff. And of course, our hometown Wildcats are coached by Mr. Jim Tate.
Well, you know, Larry, you couldn't ask for much more in the last game of your season coming down to the championship. Here it is. It's on the line for two teams. The Wildcats have it everything there right for them. They just got to come out and play good, aggressive basketball like they have all season. And, of course, Ravenna's standing there, and they know what they've got to do. They've got to play some good ball. They got to stay right with the Cats and be in a position at the end to put it away.
Absolutely correct, Jeff. Talking to Coach John Svengros before the game tonight, he feels that the Bulldogs have improved tremendously since last time we played them, and I think 6 victories in a row attest to that. He knows that he's going to have his Chargers contend with the tough pressure defense of the Wildcats like other teams have, but I'm sure his Bulldogs will be ready.
Of course, Mark Jacobs in number 21 signed a football tender to go to Western Michigan, so we know he's an excellent athlete. And Rod Place, also an excellent athlete. And we'll see how the other players around him can help them out.
Bulldogs with the first shot at the basket, but they throw the ball away, and Grieve picks the pass off. So back come the Wildcats. Down the court for the first time, Paul Schloff, number 12, drives left, looks over to J.J. Flynn in the three-point range, inside to Grieve, back out on top. Jump shot, good by Doug Schloff. So the Cats draw first blood. That patented jump shot by Doug Schloff. Little dribble and up he goes. Back across come the Bulldogs. Man-to-man defense. Drive left down the paint. Good, good. DeJong.
Young, nice play by a sophomore. That certainly didn't look like a sophomore play right there.
Absolutely not. And the Bulldogs have two sophomores out there right now.
Boy, and the sophomore crop in the West Michigan just gets better all the time. Just
Absolutely.
Very impressive.
Jim Grieve with the hook. Almost lost it, but regained possession and put the ball in. 4-2 Wildcats, 6:50 remaining. Across the timeline once again. Jacobs back out, now down low. Shot, no good. Nice inside position by Doug Schloff that time, but he couldn't quite control, knocked it out of bounds.
And Doug had nice position there. The ball just came off such that he couldn't get his handle on it, and Bulldogs have the ball out of bounds.
Now we have a discontinued dribble, I think, Jeff. I think he lost control of it off his leg there.
He pushed it off his leg, and you get a double dribble out of that.
Boschloff checking with Coach Tate. Over to J.J. Flynn. J.J. from just inside the three-point line. No good. No call by the officials. Officials tonight, Jim McLean and Billy Scott from Muskegon, two of the highest quality officials in the West Michigan area.
I don't know if you noticed that, Larry, and a lot of people won't give him credit for it, but J.J. knocked that ball out so Paul Schloff could pick it up, and Wildcats had an opportunity.
Well, I think referee Billy Scott is going to call Jim Grieve for the first personal foul of the evening. Number 32 draws his first before the shot, apparently is the call. So the Bulldogs control underneath their own basket. Setting up the inbounds play. Not much there, and J.J. Flynn comes up with another steal. That has been one of the trademarks of J.J. Flynn all season long, Jeff.
Well, as I said already, he's made two fine plays. One led to a steal, and the other one he made the steal.
Paul Schloff up with a shot. Good! Can't let his brother outdo him, Jeff. And Paul sinks it. Wildcats playing tough defense, giving the Bulldogs trouble all over the court at this point. Back out on top now. Steve Crowley, the top of the key, is shot by Jacobs, no good. Baseline drive, nice left-handed layup, no good. Rebound controlled by the Bulldogs, but Rob Smith picks off that pass.
Well, Larry, they're letting them play tonight. There's been a lot of banging so far and only a couple fouls, so.
Paul Schloff, good. Score is 8-2 with 4:55 remaining in the first quarter. Terry DeJong setting up the offense. Mark Jacobs. Jacobs going for the back door, nothing there. Three-point range was no good. Down the center, but the ball is picked off again, this time by Doug Schloff, having a little trouble controlling and finally loses the ball himself. It's like a hot potato right now, Jeff.
Yes, it certainly is.
Steve Crowley with the ball.
For both teams, Larry. They just can't seem to get a handle on that thing.
Rod Place couldn't find a handle that time. Eric Webb comes in for the Wildcats, first substitution of tonight.
Boy, that's good quality minutes from JJ. He just played excellent out there in that brief stint there. You imagine you get a little breather here and come right back in. Eric Webb in. And Eric's seen a lot more playing time recently.
Yes, he has, and has done a really fine job for the Cats as well. Paul Schlaff looking at the defense. We have a man-to-man defense for the Bulldogs, too. Eric back to Doug, down to Paul. There's Jim Grieve. Side jumper, no good. Wildcats keep it alive. Paul up, no good. Gets his own rebound. Up, no good. Grieve with the rebound. Up, good.
Boy,
Perseverance.
That's sticking to it. Never once did they stop. Just keep on going up, up, up on it.
Rod Place across the court. DeJong with the ball on the top. Crowley inside it goes to Jacobs, and Rob Smith is going to be called for the personal foul.
Larry, that's something Rob can't afford to do. I don't think if he gets in a position where Mark posts him up underneath there like that, he's just got to make sure he plays good, tough defense, and got to force him one way where he gets a little help, and he's got to get some help coming from the opposite side.
You're right. Tom Cedarquist coming in for the Wildcats, replacing Rob Smith. Rod Place from three-point range, no good. Nice inside position that time by number 42, Ketchum.
Well, Carl Ketchum was left all by himself. Nobody on that side for the Wildcats is easy too.
Ketchum is among the leading rebounders of the Bulldogs, averaging a little over 8 rebounds per game. And that's the first Wildcat, no, that's the second, I think, Wildcat turnover.
I believe that you're right.
Giving the Bulldogs the ball.
Paul trying to get an NBA move there on
right.
Bulldogs.
So the Bulldogs come back to the attack. Oh, a beautiful drop-off pass that time to Ketchum, number 42. Ketchum's one of the leading rebounders. He's also averaging almost 10 points per game, and that was his 4th tonight. 2:50 remaining, 10-6 Cats. Doug Schlaff with the baseline drive. Up, no good, off the side of the basket, and the Bulldogs come back. Oh. No good on the basket attempt, but the foul is called on Doug Schlaff, I believe.
No, it's on Jim Grieve.
Jim Grieve.
And Jim's not too happy about it. And it was such that I think he probably didn't foul him, but it was that he slapped at the ball as the man went by, and that's the way the referee saw it.
Terry DeJong now at the line. DeJong apparently an average free throw shooter from the information we have. Misses the first, but gets one more attempt as the foul is in the act of shooting. Yes. Up. This one is good. So he is average right now. 1 for 2, 50% for the night.
Well, the Wildcats will see a little bit of their own medicine.
Into the Doug Schlaff. Across the top to Eric Webb. Trap is coming up there, but Eric dribbles right through it nicely. Drops it off for Tom Cedarquist. Rolls across the top as the shot is taken and missed. But Tom's going to get 2. Well, maybe not. Yes, he is going to get 2 now from the line as the foul was committed by the Bulldogs. That's their first team foul, Jeff, and it was on Ketchum.
Well, it'd certainly be nice to get some of their taller, bigger players in a little bit of foul trouble, as we've already got Jim sitting on the bench with 2.
Tom's had some difficulty at the line this season, but there's no difficulty on that one. Clean as a whistle. So he gets one more shot at it. 11-7 Wildcats.
You know, Larry, Tom's had some big points for the Wildcats this season. In key situations, he seems to play his best.
You're right. And there's an example of that. 2 clutch free throws, giving us a 5-point lead. Off the backboard it goes. And I think the Bulldogs are going to get it out of bounds.
Right, they called it off one of the Wildcats, and I think they were right.
Yep.
Wildcat had the inside position, came off his hand and went in.
Mark Jacobs, leading scorer for the Bulldogs, gets his first 2, averaging 17.5 points per game.
And you
Mark
can't make
Jacobs.
it that easy for him. You know, you got to get that offside help.
Mike Jacobs, an excellent defensive player, too. Beautiful shot by Eric Webb. Basket is good, and he'll get a chance for the 3-point play right here. That time Jacobs went up high on the shot and just didn't go up straight, trying to block it, and picked up the foul.
And that's impressive for a young man to go up and shoot that ball like that and then follow through even though he gets fouled and knock it down and got a chance for a three-point play.
Eric Webb at the line. Eric Webb is nearing the 50% mark with that free throw for the season. And DeJong coming back for the Bulldogs. Here comes the backdoor attempt again. Rob Smith smells it out. Nice defensive move that time by Rob. Crowley from the corner, looking inside to catch him. Good. Nice touch that time. Got the roll. 15-11, Wildcats. Eric Webb with the ball on the left. Down low to Rob Smith. Pulls up. Doesn't take the shot. Eric does. Good. Nice shot by Eric Webb. 17-11.
Yeah, Eric Webb just playing a lot more confidence all the time. Getting more minutes. Knocked 2 big baskets down there now for the Wildcats.
DeJong looking in for Ketchum. There he is. Looking for Jacobs. Nothing there. That's Rod Place from the outside. Rob Smith, nice inside position in front of Jacobs. Grabs the rebound. Doug Schlaff on the right-hand side. Up, no good. 2 Bulldogs there. Nice position by Tom Sugar. Good alertness, Jeff.
Yes, excellent. Those are one of the plays you just don't want to do. You don't want to go underneath your own basket and throw the ball out, or excuse me, underneath the opponent's basket and throw that ball out, because too many bad things can happen, as was attested by that play.
We certainly saw that right there. You're right. Foul was called against Doug Schlaff, his first personal, and it's the 4th against the Wildcats for this half. Bulldogs with 2 team fouls. 43 seconds remain in the first quarter. Steve Crowley with the ball. Into the game for the first time now, number 11.
Steve May.
Steve May. Rod Place driving the right baseline. Underneath the basket, right on through. There's Steve May, the 3-point shot. Up short. Ketchum with the rebound. Ketchum with a shot. Good. Carl Ketchum doing an excellent job, and he did a nice game against the Wildcats in Ravenna too, Jeff.
Well,
some quality
nice
time there.
Soft touch around that basket. You can't let him get that close.
Rob Smith, nice fake that time. A little pump, and 3 seconds is going to be the call before the pass was made.
That's a situation where Robbie probably should have put the ball up.
The first time, if not the second at least, he had Ketchum off his feet and could have taken an inside step there. Rod Place just misses as the first quarter ends with the score. The Cats finding themselves up by 6, 19-13 over the Ravenna Bulldogs. And folks, we're going to take a timeout for this word from our sponsors. This game is brought up by 6, but we aren't running away from with the game by any stretch of the imagination. The Bulldogs have given us all we wanted so far, Jeff.
Well, you know, Larry, we've got some clutch points from players that up to this point, you know, really aren't counted on for the big points early. And Eric Webbs has 5, Tom Cedarquist has 4, I believe, and those have come in awful handy. 9 of our 19 points. Their big guns haven't started producing at this point. Ravenna's playing some tough defense, and they're pushing us as well.
We've mentioned this to Coach Tate several times throughout the year. He's very fortunate to have that deep bench strength. He can put several players in there and not lose much at all.
Of course, a lot of that's because that's the way he plays them.
You're right.
You gain that confidence and just get better and better as the year goes on.
J.J. Flynn with the 3-point attempt, no good, and there's Ketchum again with that rebound. Rod Place, Steve May now with the ball at the top. Rob Smith fronting on Jacobs down low. Rod Place on the left now inside to Jacobs. Nice move that time, left-hand turn, and he sinks it.
Right there you saw what kind of athlete Mark Jacobs is. Nice and smooth, and he's got that good touch around the basket.
Jacobs shooting 46% from the field. Rob Smith in the bucket.
Rob Smith did a nice job on that. Got Mark Jacobs up in the air, or catch him up in the air, I'm not sure which one, and then just laid up underneath of him and dropped it in.
21-15 now, favor the Cats. Steve May looking to drive inside. Tries to drop to catch him, gets it back. Up, good. First bucket of the night for Steve May. May, a senior, playing in his last game, gets a two-pointer. JJ trying to go inside to Tom Cedarquist. Ketchum picks it off, but loses it. And
that's the case. I'm sure Coach John Swingross does not want Carl Ketchum dribbling the ball up the court. You get me the rebounds, you get me the inside points, but don't dribble.
Right. That ball to the guard.
You know, the big forwards always like to lead the fast break, but the coaches don't like him to do that.
That's right. Ball from the side, good with the jumper. Cats now find themselves in front by 6 again, 23-17, 6:20 remaining. Steve May at the top, Rod Place, Ketchum posting up, now swings through the baseline. And the Wildcats break that one up as Place tried to drop it for Jacobs. Couldn't make it happen. Here comes the Bulldogs. Crowley to Place, back behind the back to Crowley. Basket is no good.
The Bulldogs don't like that, but that was a smart play by Thompson, Chris. As he just held his ground, stopped, and the Ravenna player just ran right over him. No basket, charge, going the other way, Wildcats ball.
Steve Crowley with the foul, his first. And Tom Cedarquist made an excellent play, as you said, and nobody's going to get Tom Cedarquist to move out of there. He's going to stand his ground, as Steve Crowley found out. Big break for the Cats. Bushberger now in for the Wildcats with the ball. Back across court. J.J. Flynn drives right. Drops it for Tom Cedarquist. Inside basket by Cedarquist. Nice pass.
Cedarquist is just playing a super ball game at this point.
Steve May once again for the Bulldogs. Looking inside. Bad pass goes awry, and the Cats pick it up and come back. Pass was intended for Joe Knapp, who's come in for the Bulldogs at this point. That pass a little too hard, I'm afraid, and bounces off Rob's hands that time.
Rob had the right idea, and Paul did too. I think if Rob would have released just a little bit more the basket, and as you said, maybe if that pass had been a little bit softer, we'd have had two there.
Jim Grieve back in along with Eric Webb, replacing Cedarquist and J.J. Flynn. Bulldogs on the attack. Place looking inside, trying to get it to Jacobs, and does. Jacobs, a little difficulty that time, and misses the shot. Tried to go over two Wildcat defenders. Eric Webb, no good. Rob Smith all alone for the rebound. Beautiful position, basket by Smith.
Well, I'll tell you what, a lot of those shots come off on the opposite side, and tonight already I've seen a number of plays where the team that's on the opposite side gets an easy rebound because there's nobody else there.
Timeout on the court. Timeout called by the Ravenna Bulldogs with 4:46 remaining in the half. 27-17. The Cats find themselves up by 10, trying to pull away a bit. Let's take a minute, Jeff, and talk about Mark Jacobs. As you said, he signed a football intent letter to go to WMU. Of course, he was the quarterback on the Ravenna Bulldog finalist team at the state level this year. Also played other positions and played them all well. This is the end of a long career of success for Jacobs at Ravenna High School. Jacobs has been a 4-year starter, and he's had 73 starts. 73 starts in that 4-year career. An amazing record, averaging for those 73 starts, so, excuse me, not just the, well, yes, for his career, 16 points per game. Not too bad a record for 4 years.
He's an amazing player. I thought last year at a point that he was the best player in the conference, and this year he certainly enhanced himself on the football field by way he played, and he's doing very well in the basketball. It took him a little while to get adjusted, but he's just an excellent, excellent athlete. And he shared the quarterback in the end duties with the other player on his team, Rod Place, number 13, who's also a very excellent athlete.
There's Jacobs now to take it out of bounds. Jacobs has scored 1,250 points in his high school career coming into tonight, so he's a few above that then. Gets an assist attempt. It was a little premature there, but Jacobs had a nice eye for the floor that time.
Well, that's the thing about Mark Jacobs. He's not just a scorer. He does a lot of things. He rebounds for you. He's going to get you assists. He's going to do a lot of different things.
Doug Schloff back to Rob Smith. Eric Webb underneath. Good. Nice eyesight that time by Rob Smith with the assist.
Well, so far, Larry, the Wildcats are getting contributions from a lot of different players, and that's what's going to help them if they're going to go on to victory tonight.
Rod Place from the outside pulls the Bulldogs within 10, 29-19 with 3:45 remaining in the first half. Bushberger from the side, a little too hard that time, goes off the back of the rim. Knapp gets the ball back up to DeJong. That's Knapp with the shot. Not quite there this time. Jacobs and Smith hustle after the rebound, and it's controlled by the Wildcats.
I'll tell you, Larry, you got to keep your body on Jacobs because he's not just big, but he's also quick, and he can get those rebounds, get by you quick.
Bushberger with another shot, no good. Jacobs with the rebound. Jacobs is the leading rebounder for the Bulldogs. We mentioned Ketchum at 8.5, but Jacobs has an average of about 10 rebounds per game. Grieve. Oh, he's deadly from out there, Jeff. Just
That's
deadly.
Almost automatic right
almost
there.
Especially when there's nobody on him like that.
You can see Jim's eyes light up when he gets the ball there going
right.
around.
Jim's the leading field goal percentage shooter, 60% average approximately for the Cats this season. Foul called underneath against the Bulldogs. Joe Knapp called for the personal.
And I'm sure Coach John Swingross is not happy about that. You can't afford it when you're down by 12 and you got an opportunity to cut it down a little bit to get a dumb foul like that. And
that's right.
Here comes Rob Smith off the court, and he's just played excellent here in the last few minutes.
Dennis Flynn into the contest for the Wildcats.
And
First time for Dennis on the court.
Showing, doesn't it?
It surely does.
Running players in and out of that lineup.
I think
you
so
don't
far tonight the Cats have had 9 different players on the court. Find themselves up by 12 at this moment. Paul Schlaff, nice move back. We've got foul underneath the basket here. It'll be called on the Wildcats, I believe.
That might be on Jim.
Well, 1-and-1 is the.
No, Dennis Flynn.
Dennis Flynn, I think, is going to pick up the personal. That's his first, of course, but it's a 1-and-1 shot at the other end of the court this time. And Jacobs will be on the line. Jacobs is about 46% from the line for the season, according to Coach Svengros.
No, I think that you're supposed to be over here about 68%
Oh,
of
that's
free
right.
throws.
63 it is, Jeff.
Okay.
My error.
All right.
Read the wrong line. my bifocals aren't adjusting real well up here, I guess. Jacobs.
Sounded just a little bit too low for an excellent athlete like Jacobs.
Well, I was kind of surprised by that, too, to be honest with you. One more shot from Mark Jacobs. Good. So 2 points for Jacobs, and the Bulldogs just won't quit. 31-21. Less than 2.5 minutes left. Paul Schlaff against Rod Place. Rod Place is their #1 defensive specialist, and Coach Swengros told me ahead of the game that he would be on Paul Schlaff for this contest. Nice rebound by Dennis Flynn, but he can't get the basket back up as it's blocked by Carl Ketchum. Ketchum's having an excellent game for the Bulldogs. Rob Smith with the rebound. Paul with a nice pivot. Brings it back across the timeline. All the way down, up, no good. Gets his own rebound.
Well, we'll try this again.
Good. Paul Schlaff brings the Cats up by 12 with 1 minute and 35 seconds left.
That's something Paul Schlaff's done all season long, Larry. He's come up with the big baskets like that when you need them. And again, the whole Wildcat clan, they just don't stop.
Mark Jacobs with the drive down the paint misses the layup, but it's fouled as he attempts to get the rebound by Rob Smith. I believe Rob is going to pick up his second, and Tom Cedarquist, I think, will come in to replace him. Minute and 23 seconds left in the half. Coach Tate going to protect his two big men at this point in time. Rob and Jim both on the bench with two personals. Jacobs sank his last two from the line. A chance to continue that streak. And can't quite make it happen. Tom off to Doug Schlaff this time.
There was a case where Tom Cedarquist just moved his man, Carl Ketchum, a pretty good-sized young man, right out of the way. Gives you a little indication just how strong he is.
You're right. Ball with the drive and the miss this time, and Ketchum comes away with it. Ketchum's averaging that 8.5 rebounds per game, but I think he's had at least that many already in the first half,
yes,
Jeff.
I think he has. He's done a nice job for them.
Wildcats coming back now. Play's been a little ragged for the Cats in the last 30 seconds. Eric with his own rebound now. Up good. Stayed with it nicely that time and got the two. Rod Place returns the favor for the Bulldogs. 35-23 with 30 seconds left.
Coach Tate wants one shot now.
They're going to set up the high double stack offense. Ball dribbling down low, back out on top to Eric. 20 seconds. Eric back on the right side now. Now Doug Schlaff will pop out top. And we've got a 5-second call by Jim McLean. Yep. And Jeff, can you explain that call for our fans?
Well, it used to be a little hash mark there, and you had to move the ball inside. Now what it is that if the player comes within 5 feet of you, you have 5 seconds in which to get rid of it or to get him outside that 5-foot area.
And that time the defense stayed right with him. DeJong up with a shot. No good, and Doug Schlaff with inside position. Throws the ball the length of the court. Goes right on by the basket, but the Cats find themselves up by 12 at the end of the first half to score Montague 35 and the Bulldogs 23. Well, Jeff, I'm not sure that anybody here tonight necessarily thought that the Bulldogs would find themselves down by 12 at halftime.
Well, I'm not so sure. I thought that it's been a good ball game, but the Cats have just played, I think, outstanding basketball from start to finish of the first half, and they've got some excellent minutes out of people off the bench, some key baskets, key rebounds, and we've got the leadership from the people we have to get the leadership from. The Paul Schlaffs, the Doug Schlaffs, Jim Grieve, Rob Smith, those people, and it just everything is clicking right now for the Wildcats, and they just have to continue that here in the second half.
Okay, Jeff, I think we're going to be entertained on the court at halftime tonight. The Montague High School cheerleading squads, both the junior varsity and the varsity squads, are on the court, and they're going to do a pom-pom routine for us. And here they go. We'll just sit back and listen and watch. There you have the Montague High School varsity and junior varsity cheerleaders with their routine. And we are hearing that the girls will be performing the routine for Special Olympics at 2 p.m. this Sunday at Muskegon Community College. So we encourage folks to have supported them too at that point. Well, Jeff, here we are at a basketball game, but we're going to take a timeout for something a little different at this point. We also have a wrestling team that has had some very interesting action throughout the season. And we are very proud to announce to our audience, for anybody that might not have heard, that we have this season a state champion in the 112-pound class, that being Mr. Bill Priest, senior. Bill Priest, of course, came up second in the state last year at 119 pounds, and this year he came out first in the state. Quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, and my understanding, of course, that Bill's first words off the mat last year is, "I'll be back."
You're right.
And, as I watched Bill work this year, as we telecast a few of his things, it was very evident that that was his goal, and I just didn't see much unless bad luck that was going to get in his way of accomplishing that goal, and there wasn't.
You're right. A very fine young man. And we're going to take time out at this point to present Mr. Bill Priest, 1988-89 Class C 112-pound wrestling champion in the state of Michigan.
Thank you very much, Larry. My name is Roger Finland, principal of Montague High School, and with me is state champion of the 112-pound wrestling division in the state of Michigan, Mr. Bill Priest. Bill, congratulations on that victory. I know it had to be a real thrill for you to win a state championship. That's a dream that I'm sure a lot of students of all sorts, athletes in the state of Michigan have, but very few realize in the course of a year. And you attained it. I think that's just a tremendous accomplishment. Bill, last year you were not a 112-pound wrestler. I believe you wrestled in a 119-pound class?
No, I wrestled in 105. I jumped going into districts in the competition, the state region. I went to 105, but I wrestled 19 some of the year.
Well, you wrestled at 119, but 105 for the state meet last year. And maybe you could tell us a little bit about your experiences in the state tournament last year.
Well, coming into last year, I guess I didn't expect really, in my mind, I wanted to medal, but I didn't think I'd get as far as I did going into the finals. And it helped me out a lot, I think, coming back this year. I didn't have a lot of pressure on me, and it's a different tournament, and if you've been there once, it helps out a lot. And I think just the experience of being there once really helped out.
Who did you wrestle in the finals last year?
Last year I wrestled a kid named John Parr from Burton Bendel.
Now, was he a senior last year?
Yeah, no, he was a junior last year.
So he didn't make the final tournament this year then, or
No.
did he in another weight class?
No, he wrestled the same weight class, and I ended up wrestling him my second round.
And so you defeated him then on your way to the championship round. Bill, how many matches do you have to wrestle once you get in that state tournament? Maybe you could tell us, when a tournament starts and exactly how many meets or matches you have to wrestle to get into the final round.
Well, it starts as a Friday, Saturday tournament. I wrestled at like 10:30 in the morning. All meet starts at 10. If you win your first one, you've got all day. You don't have to wrestle until 5:30. That's the next winner's round. You win then, you don't have to go back until Saturday morning. Wrestle again at around 10:30, 11 is when I wrestled. You win that one, and you're done again until 5:30, which is finals.
Okay, so you were in the winner's bracket all the while then during the tournament?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Your record is completely unblemished for the year.
That's right.
That's just fantastic. And what's fantastic about it is the young man that you wrestled in the final meet from Hart, I believe he only had one other loss besides the losses to you during the course of the year?
That's correct. The only time it's kind of neat, we got a intertwined relationship, I guess. It's a love-hate, The only time I wrestled him this year was for conference, and that was for first and second. And I wrestled him at districts for first and second, regionals first and second, and then down to state for first and second.
That's just amazing. Now, one good thing about him, he is a junior, and he's going to have a chance to go back to the tournament next year.
No, he's a senior. We're both seniors this year.
I didn't realize that. I thought that I had heard he was a junior. Well, that's too bad for him, but of course it's good for you. The tournament itself starts, the districts start how many weeks before the actual final matches down at the state tournament?
Well, you start off at the district level, which is the first week, okay, and you got to place within the top 4 there. Then the following weekend, the following Saturday, you go and you wrestle. It's called regionals. You place in the top 4 then the next weekend is state. So it's just 1, 2, 3 for each weekend.
Pretty much like our basketball tournament is a 3-week affair. Bill, we're going to at this time watch a little bit of the final match. We're going to play the final period of the championship match. So during that time, I'd like you to comment a little bit on that for us, okay? We're going to pick up action by you're down in a down position, I believe, or and we'll be able to comment on this.
Yeah, I deferred to him in the second period, gave him his choice, and so I picked down. It was 2-0 right there, you can see, and I picked down.
Shoot! Shoot! Flatten him out now. Run that arm. Get that arm in.
Go through this, and tremendous thing for the school. I've got a favorite saying that, you know, people all the time talk about athletics building character, and I think everybody knows what that means. But I saw a sign a few weeks ago, and it says athletics does not build character, but it reveals character, and I think that's a little more correct, and I think this has revealed your character. Just the way you've trained for it. I know that you've worked awfully hard. I walk down the hall every night and I see you running. I go up on the stage, I see you on the mat, very competitive, working very hard, and that's the kind of character it takes to win a state meet. What or when did you start your wrestling career, Bill?
Well, I started when I was my 6th grade year. I couldn't wrestle for the team for points, but I could wrestle what they call exhibition matches, you know, just to get a chance to wrestle. And then I started there. I wrestled 2 years there. I wrestled my 6th and 7th and 8th grade year, and then in between those years I wrestled what's freestyle, which goes, it's like another tournament, whatever, through the summertime that I can choose where I want to go to and what I want to do. And I went up to the high school and wrestled all 4 years there.
Hey, what is your career record, Bill?
I believe it's 142 and 26.
And most of those losses came probably your freshman and sophomore year?
Yeah, most of them were my freshman year. I was thinking about that last night when I was at a state banquet. I kind of thought, well, what happens if I would have cut out my freshman year? You know, maybe I would have cut some of my losses. But you got to lose to, if you don't, no one ever loses. You don't know what it feels like. And when it comes down to that moment, you don't know what to do. And I figure everybody's got to lose sometime. And I just did then.
Do you recall how many of the 26 losses came during your freshman year?
I don't remember. I don't usually keep track of all my records until, well, now. I never, you asked me in the middle of the year what my record was, and I couldn't tell you. Look at the papers, the best thing I could tell you. I don't like to do that. A lot of people I see do that, and it doesn't feel right to me. So I just kind of let everything slide by until the end of the year. Now I can go home, look at my charts, and look at my medals, and kind of sit back and relax.
Well, again, I think that shows part of the character that we're talking about, that the individual statistics, you don't keep track of that. You just go to each match, and each match is probably a new ball game for you. Do you have any plans, Bill, as far as going to college and wrestling in college?
Well, right now I've had a few offers, and I'm just waiting. I want to get down and talk to some of the college wrestlers and see how they like it before I totally make up my mind if I'm going to wrestle in college or not. But there's a pretty good chance I'm going to.
Do you have a college picked out?
Yeah, I'm trying to get in Grand Valley right now. I just talked to Coach Jim Scott last night, and he's supposed to give me a call, and we're going to meet up for lunch, and he's going to let me talk to the wrestlers down there. And Ferris asked me to come over and so I could talk with them. So I'm just going to go around and try to start talking to some people. But Grand Valley is where I'd prefer to go to right now.
Academically, what curriculum do you think you're going to get into in college?
Well, I'm thinking about getting into broadcasting. That's why I want to get to Grand Valley. I guess Grand Valley's got what I believe to be one of the top of the line broadcasting departments, whatever, in the state. And I figure broadcasting, communications, production would be something I'd like to do.
Well, I think that'd be a lot of fun for you. You helped us out earlier this year on a wrestling meet where we had to dub the voices back in because our microphones didn't work the night of the meet, and you and Mr. Halls broadcast it by watching TV and redoing it, and it turned out real well. And I can tell you, with the little bit of TV production that I've done last year, putting these programs together, it's a lot of fun, and I think there's a good career there for you. And we'll publicly make the offer. If we can help you in any way through the school here, just let us know, and we'll be more than happy to do it. I got one other question, or a couple other questions I got to ask you. First of all, you're going to have surgery pretty soon, I understand, and you have wrestled under some adversity this year. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's pretty much been under the blankets for a while. I guess I haven't really let a lot of people know. I was notified about for first quarter of the year. I come into the doctor and complaining of some pain, and he told me then that I had a hernia, and he said at that time it was more up to me. I told him where I was at and told him that wrestling meant more to me than stopping right now, and I told him I wouldn't stop right now, and he said, well, we'll just let it slide till the end of the year. I didn't have any problems with it. I just pretty much blocked it out of my mind, I didn't tell anybody. I just never thought about it at the meets or anything, and now I'm done. I got to recuperate, I guess, and go in and have the surgery. But, I guess the way I was at right now, it's just always been in my mind I wasn't going to quit. And the doctor told me, well, he said if you weren't in wrestling, you'd have the surgery now. And it was nice. I got a young doctor, I guess is what happened to me, because I just prayed I didn't get some of the older doctors that say you got it, you're going to get surgery now. And he was a younger one. He knew about wrestling. He knew some guys that when he was in high school, what it meant to them. So he said, well, it's up to me. He said, you can wrestle with the pain. Go ahead. And so I did, and just waited till the end of the year.
Well, that's tremendous, Bill. And again, that shows the character and the tenacity, and you are just a tenacious individual, and that's why you're a state champ. Second question about injuries. I notice your arm right now is in a sling. What's happened there?
Well, now I'm done with wrestling. I guess all my aches and pains come out. I was notified last night when I went in the hospital that I possibly have tendonitis in my shoulder, with a swelling of the ligaments in the shoulder, whatever. My knees giving me some problems. I guess I just overstressed that. Now it's just recuperating time, I guess. I take off a long time and just relax for a while.
Well, Bill, you're going to have some time with the surgery coming up to rest the other parts of your body, because you're going to be out of school, I understand, probably 2 weeks for that particular surgery, and so maybe the other things will heal up at the same time. Bill, we've got to go back to the basketball game here. The second half is about to begin. I'm glad you were able to join me, and I can't congratulate you enough. I mean, just for the kind of person you are, the kinds of things you add to the school as a person are just as important as your athletic achievements. You've been a joy to have around this building for 4 years, and when June 4th comes and you graduate, we're going to miss you around here an awful lot because you just do so many things. But the epitome of that success, of course, has to be the state championship, and you know, you've done Montague proud by your attitude and by winning the tournament, and we're real happy for you. I can't shake your right hand, I see, but we can certainly shake this way. And
Well, I'd like to, publicly thank the school for allowing me the 4 years to wrestle, and for broadcasting our meets over the TV, and just the support's been there, and it's really helped out a lot.
Bill, it certainly was our pleasure, and again, congratulations and good luck in your future. Good luck at college, and maybe someday we'll turn on the Olympic wrestling meets and we'll be able to listen to you broadcasting them. We do have one advantage. I said we're going back to the second half of the basketball game, which we are, but Bill and I right now are meeting on Sunday at around 11 o'clock in the morning, so we know the outcome of that ball game, of course, and we'd like to congratulate the Wildcat varsity basketball team on their fine effort this year in winning their second straight WMC Conference Championship. And, of course, good luck in the tournaments on Wednesday night as they travel up to Shelby to take on either Whitehall or the Shelby Tigers. And it's been a great athletic year for us around here. Mr. Tate mentioned that at the PEP Assembly the other day. We've got the Conference Golf Championship, of course. The girls shared the conference title in basketball this year, which is the first time ever. Bill has had all of the success. We've got Annie Smith, who I think those that are watching us are very aware that Annie sings the national anthem before games, and she's going to do it down at Chrysler Arena in front of 13,000 people, so that'll be a thrill. So it's been a good year. Again, Bill, good luck, and we'll go back to the second half of the basketball game. Thank you for joining.
Well, Jeff, here we are back at Montague High School for the last half of the last game in the regular season for the Wildcats.
Larry? Where is it gone?
Boy, isn't it amazing?
It seems like we just started, and here we are right down the road from tournament play.
Well, I've really enjoyed working these games with you this year, and with Roger too, and we have 2 more to go. We should announce to the fans that it's March Madness time. I'm sure they don't need to be reminded of that, but we are going to be broadcasting the semifinal game of the Wildcats on Wednesday night. We're not going to broadcast on Wednesday night, but we are going to tape the game and do it on Centel Television, Channel 5. And we're not just sure when it'll be on, but I want to just mention that to fans. Watch your cable station here. And Steve Jones has agreed that we can get it on as soon as arrangements can be made, and he'll advertise when that will be completed. Now, we're, of course, hoping that the Cats will come out of their first round or second round game as winners, of course. But regardless of what happens, we will also be broadcasting the finals from Shelby High School on Saturday, that is. The Wildcats drew a bye, Jeff, in their first in the first round, and will be playing on Wednesday night, March 1st, 6 o'clock, Shelby High School, the winner of the Shelby Whitehall contest, which will take place on Monday night of next week.
And that's going to be a tough bracket to come out of. As Whitehall, of course, has had a very good season, and of course, Shelby, as of late, has played excellent basketball, gave us a good run up there, and has beat Hart the other night, and just been playing excellent basketball, the basketball they've been kind of looking for all year long. And, of course, the Wildcats all season long have been playing. So that's going to be a tough bracket. And Wednesday night's game, if I remember right, last year's tournament, the Wildcats escaped with some tough wins at Hart, and so they got to go in with the attitude. They got to start all over now, and play good, tough ball right from the beginning.
That's right. Regardless of the outcome of this game tonight, there's a new season starting next week for everybody in the whole state, and they go at it again. And it's amazing the upsets that you hear about almost every year in terms of who's beating who in the tournament action.
You know, and I know a lot of times you face the team 3 times, you beat them twice, and you think, geez, this will be an easy contest, and that's the things that Cats have to guard against. On the other hand, team says, gee, these guys have beat us 3 times, but we narrowed the gap the second time, and I think we can get them this time. And so, you know, I'm sure that's exactly what the different teams are looking at.
Well, Ravenna will be hosting their own district tournament this year, so they'll have home court advantage for their games. In that district will be Ravenna, Grant, Holton, Muskegon, Catholic Central, and Oak Ridge. And Ravenna will play the Muskegon Catholic Central team in their first game. They will come out of that district and go to the Godwin Heights winner. If Montague escapes with a victory in the Shelby tournament, we will go to Godwin Heights and probably play the winner of the Lakeview region, I believe. So exciting tournament basketball coming up starting tomorrow night for some teams.
An exciting action right here, Larry. The Wildcats have one more half to their season, their regular season, and they just have to play tough basketball.
Steve Crowley over to the left now. It's DeJong, Terry DeJong, sophomore, intercepted by Grieve. And Grieve, as you mentioned before, doesn't dribble that too long. Gets it right back to Paul Schloff, the guard. Coach Tate giving his Chargers some instruction on the court. Notice the Bulldogs are now in a zone defense. Rob Smith with the rebound, puts it up. No good, and there's Ketchum. Ketchum's just had an extremely nice night on the boards for the Bulldogs, Jeff.
Well, and he gets good position, and when you do that, a lot of things come your way.
Nice inside pass to Ketchum and a turnaround basket. So the Bulldogs get on the board first in the second half. J.J. Flynn. Paul Schloff from the outside. Good!
Well, Larry, that was an NBA three-pointer.
It really was.
He was well beyond that three-point line.
Nice hustle on the inbounds steal attempt by Doug Schloff, but Jacobs comes back down court. And we have a blocking foul going to be called on Rob Smith, I believe. As Jacobs was driving to the basket on the left-hand side, Rob Smith didn't quite establish position soon enough and draws his third personal. Now, Rob's had an excellent night tonight, and Coach Tate would hate to see him getting any more foul trouble this stage of the game.
That's why Tom Cedarquist is on his way
back
on the
you're
court.
Right. Rob Smith had an excellent game last Tuesday night. I believe he had 17 or 19 points and did some excellent rebounding in addition.
Yeah, he's done that so far tonight, too, and played good defense for the most part on Mark Jacobs.
I stand corrected. Rob Smith had 20 points and 13 rebounds against Mason County Central. Rod placed from the outside, and Grieve with the inside position. Nice triangle set up that time by the Wildcats.
Well, another thing that Jim Grieve did real well is he bodied right up to Mark Jacobs and then went to the ball when the ball came off instead of going to the ball and then trying to find your man. And that's why he got the rebound, and the Wildcats are in control right now.
There's Grieve from the inside, assist to JJ.
Boy, the Bulldogs just don't want to give Jim Grieve that shot. They didn't learn the first half, evidently, because he just knocks it down again.
Grieve has made 118 field goals for the season coming into tonight, and a lot of them were on that same kind of shot. Paul Schloff, there's Tom Cedarquist to the inside basket. Beautiful excellent rebounding position.
Just excellent position.
I think this is the best game I've seen Tom play for the season. He's had
a better spot, could he?
No, sir, not at all. Carrying the ball is a call. Tom's had lots of good games for us, giving us lots of quality time, but he's doing rebounding, he's scoring tonight. He's got it together. Yeah. Drew that charge in the first half.
Well, you know, Larry, the Bulldogs got on there first to pull it within 10, 35-25, and then Wildcats just reeled them off 7 straight, and it's now a 17-point game, 42-25.
7-2 run for the Wildcats puts them in a somewhat commanding position at this time, and Coach Swengros is putting his Chargers back together over there. He knows he can't afford to let this run continue if he can find some way to break it up.
Of course, Coach Tate is telling his Chargers, listen, guys, you got this way by playing hard, and there's still a lot of time to go. You can't let up at all. You got to keep on pushing, play the smart ball that you have been, and get 2 points at a time, and keep on moving. Don't stop the movement.
Play about ready to resume now as
I
Paul
think right now
Schloff
is
comes.
a key play right here, Larry. I think it's key that the Wildcats run something, get some good movement, and then get a score, or at least a good opportunity for a score.
Trap applied by the Bulldogs, but the Cats come out of it. Paul Schloff on the outside, no good. Jim Grieve trying to keep it alive. Now it goes down court to Rod Place all by himself. Good. Rod Place is going to sink those 90.9% of the 99.9% of the time.
And that's not what I think the Wildcats wanted. That's not exactly what I was talking about.
No, I'm sure it isn't. Doug Schloff looking down to Tom Sequist, back out front now. Jim Grieve was alone on the left-hand side. Nobody saw him that time.
The Ravenna's in a 1-2-2 zone. All the Wildcats have to do is just step out. They have to be out within 5.
Rod Place coming out on Paul now. Over to JJ.
Now they're going to man-to-man.
And it worked as Steve Crowley comes up with a steal, and he can't control it. Goes off from his leg out of bounds. Jim Grieve was there next to him. I think he thought Grieve was going to try a big block and was a little nervous. Heard some footsteps in the background.
Yeah, you know, the Wildcats can't play tentative. They just got to keep on pushing right at them. And looks like they're a little tentative right now.
Well, I think the zone defense gave them a little different look, and they weren't quite used to it. They've seen man-to-man most of the time. Of course, now the Bulldogs are back out in that man-to-man. 3 seconds is a call that time on Jim Grieve, I think.
The very thing I was talking about. We're just standing around. They're not getting much movement. You get that 17-point lead. It's now 15, and they've got a chance to run it to 13. And actually probably should have had a 13 if they'd made the layup the last time.
You're right. Terry DeJong across the timeline. DeJong is the intended receiver of the pass there, but it's picked off by Tom Cedarquist. And the Cats come back.
Well, Larry, you know there's been a lot of players that have really contributed so far, but Tom Cedarquist has to be right at the top of the heap.
You're right, as Jim Grieve gets the rebound of his own shot, puts the second one back up and in.
It's a good play and good, again, staying right with it to get that rebound.
17-point lead for the Wildcats, 44-27. Good shot from the outside that time by Mark Jacobs.
Well, I just soon see him shoot those out there instead of being inside because I think that's going to cause the Cats more problems inside.
Steal by Crowley that time, and DeJong comes back with the basket. And the Cats just are not together right now. They're having a little difficulty with their floor game at this point. They still find themselves up by 13, but can't seem to find the rhythm that they had earlier in the contest. Eric Webb passes to Doug. Good. Doug Schloff.
Nice ball movement.
It surely was. Everybody, I think,
Very
except Doug, thought
unselfish.
that was going to go up, except Eric, that is. DeJong playing catch with Crowley, now dribbles right. Rod Place, screened by Ketchum. Place gets the three-pointer. That's his second three-pointer from out there at least, perhaps 3.
Yeah. Excellent shot, too. Eric Webb is right in his face.
Doug Schloff across the timeline. Cedarquist back out to Paul Schloff. Wildcats still struggling with 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Jim Grieve from the free throw line. Good!
That just amazes me, Larry. He just got that shot down pat. He just is an excellent shooter from out in that range. Just an excellent shooter.
Grieve is averaging about 14 points per game, but has had several 15 to 20-point games in the recent past. Place with another three-pointer for the Bulldogs. Pulls him within 11 now. Doug Schloff goes up with for the basket. Good!
Of course, the Wildcats respond. Doug Schloff, nice shot.
Rod Place going baseline against Eric Webb, and Eric Webb is not able to establish position that time. Nice move by Rod Place.
Well, that's a tough one because if you don't get out on him, he's going to shoot that three-pointer, and he's got good quickness, and he's going to take you right to the hole if you go out on him. So nice move by Rod Place.
I mentioned that Rod Place was the defensive specialist of the team, but he's averaging over 15 points a game himself. Second leading scorer on the Bulldog team.
Good defense by Eric right there. He's right on him.
Well, I think we're going to have a foul called on Dennis Flynn, who just came into the game for the Cats. He pushed up on Jacobs on the inside that time.
Got his hands down low and just kind of moved Jacobs out of the way. You know, it's surprising how easy that is when you get somebody to go up in the air and you just kind of move them a little bit with your hands underneath. They'll go a long ways. And sometimes you get them to move too far, and the official knows that's a little bit unnatural.
Minute and 33 seconds left as the Bulldogs try to cut their 13-point deficit. That time is Crowley from the outside. Short. Jacobs with a rebound. Nice power rebound and a basket for Jacobs. Nice move that time by Mark Jacobs. J.J. Flynn back in now for Eric Webb. Doug Schloff across the line. Doug Schloff setting it up outside. Man-to-man defense now by the Bulldogs. J.J. Flynn looking inside. Passes across court to Dennis Flynn. Up, no good. Grieve with the rebound. Tip. But goes over the back. Grieve is going to be called for the personal, his third.
I think they got him on a push-off, Larry, as he was going up for the ball.
Fourth personal on the Wildcats this half. The Bulldogs have yet to be called for a personal. Rod Place, 49 seconds left. Here comes a backdoor attempt. Nothing there as the Wildcats hold their positions very well. Crowley no good. Ketchum underneath. Again Ketchum. Good! Ketchum with that basket after two rebound attempts. Doug Schloff, outside, no good. Ketchum with a rebound. I think I've said Ketchum an awful lot of times tonight, Jeff.
Yes, I know you have.
Foul is called on the Bulldogs as they drive left. As Terry DeJong, the sophomore. And the Wildcats held their position that time. Doug Schloff.
Was that Doug Schloff?
It was Doug Schloff, I think, who drew the charge.
Well, and the Bulldogs got it now down to 9. And that's exactly what they want to do.
Tom Cedarquist back in for Grieve and Eric Webb back in for J.J. Flynn. Coach Tate making good use of Eric and J.J. to alternate, keeping fresh legs in there. Tom Cedarquist, good!
Nice pass by Dennis Flynn.
Place from the outside, far outside. Rebound by Tom Cedarquist. That marks the end of the third quarter.
I think Tom was glad to hear the whistle or the buzzer because he took steps.
He took steps,
nice
that's
job
right.
getting that rebound.
The score is Montague 52 and Ravenna 41. Well, Jeff, we were up by 17 that time. We're lucky to be up by 11 at this point. We were up by 10 at the end of the first half, I believe, 35-25. It's been back and forth. First blood drawn by the Bulldogs, a run by the Cats, but the Bulldogs are anything but dead.
Well, as I said, when we came back out from that timeout that Coach Swingross called, I figured that was a key play, that the Wildcats had to move the ball a little bit, get some good ball movement, and then get the ball up, and they weren't able to do that.
Okay, Jeff, at this point, I think we'll take a brief pause for this important message from our sponsors. Those seniors' minds out there now.
Well, right now I don't think they're thinking too much about that other than just playing and winning the ball game. But, you know, I'm sure they thought about it this week, that this is our last ball game and this is a big one. And they'd certainly like to go out as winners. And nice pass.
Good to Tom Cedarquist with the left-hand side layup. Beautiful. Tom Cedarquist with a rebound. Off to Paul Schloff.
Nice play by Paul. Good job.
Paul's bringing it back out on top now. Setting it up. Eric Webb driving the paint. Off to Flynn. Good! 4 quick points by the Wildcats. Rod Place drops it back to Ketchum. Back to the top now to DeJong. Rod Place looking inside for Ketchum. Dribbling right, back out. 56-41 with 7 minutes and 5 seconds. Backdoor attempt, nothing there. Nothing there all night on that play. Short on the three-point play. Foul is going to be called The three-point shot was short, and on the rebound, Dennis Flynn is going to pick up the personal, I believe, and I think that's his third, Jeff.
Well, Dennis is doing a nice job on Mark Jacobs, and I'll tell you what, we'll let those other players take all those three-point shots they like, I think, Larry. We just don't want it to get in the hands of Mark Jacobs and Rod Place at this point, because they can knock it down in an awful hurry. And for that matter, keep it away from Mr. Ketchum as well.
Beautiful block by Tom Cedarquist on Ketchum that time. He went straight up and knocked that ball away.
What hasn't Tom done tonight?
I don't think there's anything. Paul's trying to drop the...
As I said, what hasn't he done?
Beautiful job by Tom Cedarquist. Dennis Flynn, good!
Boy, you're just getting all kinds of contributions. I'm just totally impressed.
Rod Place from the outside, good! That's at least 4 of those now for a Place. 58-44.
You don't want those guys to have the ball in their hands.
Eric Webb dribbling left. Over to Tom. Back out to Eric. Paul at the top now. Man-to-man defense yet for the Bulldogs. Coach Swengros apparently thinking that the zone wasn't being effective. Right now, I'm thinking he's probably considering what will be effective tonight.
Right. Well, you know, what's hurting the Bulldogs so much is the Wildcats are just passing so well right now. Just doing an excellent job passing.
Basket by Terry DeJong. Brings the Bulldogs within 14, 60-46 with 5:45 remaining. Eric Webb out on top, just holding it, making DeJong come out on him. He does. Over to Doug. Doug looking inside to Tom. This time it doesn't get there. And DeJong comes back. Pass goes right off his own man eventually. Doug comes back. Up. Good! Ketchum, a little disgusted that time, but brings the ball in play. We have a timeout on the court by the Ravenna Bulldogs.
Well, right now, you know, Larry, the Bulldogs are scoring quite well, but they can't stop the Cats from scoring.
That's right.
Just basket for basket. And as far as the Cats are concerned, that's fine with them.
The Cats are averaging that 73 points a game. They're closing in on that with 5 minutes and 12 seconds left. They have 62 on the board. And importantly, Jeff, the opponents of the Cats have been averaging over 58 points a game. But right now, the Bulldogs are at the 46 mark.
Well,
once again,
I think this is a key time for the Wildcats. They've got to come out and play some heads-up ball like they have been for the last few minutes. They can't come out and get stale all of a sudden. Of course, last time Coach Swingros called a timeout for his Bulldogs, he got him right back in the ball game. So he's hoping he can pull the same trick this time.
You're right. I think we'll take a minute while we have a chance here to thank some important people that have helped out all through the year, and many years for that matter, for at least the first person I'm going to mention, Mr. Art Keel on the scorebook, Mr. Ken Diamond at the score clock, and Jim Morningstar, Mr. Jim Morningstar on the public address system. Thank you, gentlemen, for all the help you've given us throughout the season. Bulldogs ready now. Crowley looking left for a Place, trying to get that three-pointer again. Now he's inside to Jacobs. Jacobs, turnaround, no good. Gets his own rebound, but it's pulled away by Doug Schlaff. There's Kevin Bushberger bringing the ball up now. Bushberger has come in to replace Paul Schlaff after the timeout. J.J. Flynn on the left-hand baseline. Drops it for Grieve. Good! Nice glass shot that time.
Yes.
Good touch. Place out to Crowley. Ball goes left off from Doug Schlaff. Nice deflection. Back in bounds by Jacobs. Place with the ball, driving right. Over the top to Crowley, inside the three-point range. Off from the Bulldogs, goes out of bounds to Montague.
Nothing quite going right for the Bulldogs. As the Wildcats throw it in, it goes off a Bulldog, and the Bulldogs throw it again, it goes off their own man. So
right, right. Substitutions now coming into the game. Joe Knapp back in for Ravenna. Paul Schloff came in for his brother Doug. Kevin Buschberger with the ball. 18-point lead for the Wildcats with 4:19 remaining.
Wildcats have 3 guards in here right now. Ball handling.
We're going to have a 5-second call again.
That's something the Wildcats have to watch. They come across at half court at 5-second starts if that defense is within 5 feet. And they've been close on numerous other occasions, having been called twice.
You're right.
Oh, there was one that probably should have been picked off.
J.J. Flynn with the rebound. Bringing it back up now. Paul Schloff popping out. Up with a shot. Good from the right-hand baseline.
Well, I tell you, from the angle I had, Larry, that didn't look like it had any chance at all going in. And all it
you're
hit
right.
was the bottom of the net.
A difficult shot. Inertia taking him right, shooting back left. DeJong with a 3-point basket. 66-49. 3:28 remaining. Kevin Buschberger. A defense by May and DeJong. Paul Schloff with the baseline drive. Reverse layup, good. 68-49.
That's a pretty one. That's a crowd pleaser right there, Larry. Beautiful play.
So is that by DeJong, Terry DeJong for
Quite an impressive little sophomore right
he
there.
surely is.
He's going to give
One
the
of many.
Wildcats some headaches down the road, I can tell.
JJ has that pass intercepted by Joe Knapp. Back to
Rod Place.
my place, yep. 68-53, 15-point difference, 2:43 remaining. Bulldogs still hanging in there. Jim McLean, the referee, blows the whistle. And we have, I think a timeout was called away from the ball. Yes, timeout Montague, away from the ball.
That was a smart play. The fans didn't like it, but nobody had control, so it still was Montague's ball.
You're right.
And JJ called the timeout. Smart play by JJ.
Well, Jeff, we're winding down now, 2:38 remaining. Just one more reminder to the fans. Tournament action for the Wildcats starts Wednesday night. Shelby High School, 6 o'clock. They play the winner of the Shelby Whitehall contest. And we should just mention that the other 3 teams in that district who play on the other side of the bracket are Hart, Scottville, and Hesperia. Hart and Hesperia play Monday night along with Shelby and Whitehall. And then Scottville, who drew the bye in that bracket, will play the winner of the Hart-Hesperia game after our game on Wednesday. Game time for us, 6 p.m. I think the ticket cost is $3 this year, Jeff. Not absolutely certain.
That's gone up a bit since you and I played, hasn't it?
Did they have tickets back then? I can only speak for myself. I'm sorry. I know I'm the old guy here.
Well, I was wondering if they had tournaments when you played.
Thanks a lot, Jeff. Remember how I said I enjoyed working with you? I take it all back. Grieve on the inside is fouled by Joe Knapp, number 33. That's the first or second, personal of the half for the Bulldogs. And it's a second personal on Joe Knapp. No shot because it's only the second team foul.
Well, Larry, the Wildcats got this one right now if they just play smart. They don't have to score any more points. They just have to run time off the clock. And it amounts to a 3-second call here, but what it amounts to is possession time.
You're right.
The Bulldogs have to have so many possessions, score so many points. They only get the maximum of 3, maybe 4 if you follow them on a 3-point attempt each time down. So the Wildcats just play smart from here on out.
I wouldn't be surprised by what Coach Tate mentioned that to the Cats in that last time out. Let's take some time off the clock. Placed with the 3-point shot. Good.
Boy, he's been deadly from there.
Deadly is the word.
Now a 12-point lead.
He's 78% from the 3-point range. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not right. 39% from 3-point range for the season. Paul Schloff into Grieve, but it's blocked by Mark Jacobs.
Well, that's the kind of athlete, again, that Mark Jacobs is. Go right up and block that, and Jim Grieve gets up pretty good.
Okay, here we have Coach Tate telling his team to go into the four-corner offense. Paul Schlaff with the paint drive, no good. Grieve, no good on the rebound. Shot, place from the outside, inside the three-point range, off to the right, goes out of bounds to Ravenna. Doug Schlaff couldn't quite control it that time. 68-56, 12 points, minute 31 to go.
Well, still the Wildcats played smart, nothing really to worry about.
May inside to Knapp, pushes it in, no good, and Doug Schlaff comes out with a rebound.
Take their time. You got 10 seconds up the court, and then just move the ball around.
Steal by Joe Knapp. Basket by Joe Knapp. And it's not over, folks. I don't hear the fat lady singing yet, Jeff.
No, again, we just have to play a little bit smarter ball right now.
68-58.
Move that ball, pass it around. There we go. Move it, pass it, pass it.
Eric Webb driving right, inside to Robbie Smith. Good! And we're going to have a foul, I think, too. I believe they're going to count the basket.
Yeah, that was, I think, a foul after the shot. I'll tell you what, it'd be nice if it was after he came down and it's out of bounds.
Joe Knapp on the personal, his third, and we have a timeout called by Ravenna, I believe. But when we come back, Rob Smith is going to be on the line, and that's a good person for the Cats to send to the charity stripe, Jeff, because Rob is shooting over 80% on the season. He's the second, that's a Montague timeout, they're now telling us. Rob Smith is second on the team in free throw percentage, 82%. Schlaff, Paul Schlaff, that is just a few seconds, or a few hundredths of a point above him.
And Larry, I see another little bit of touch of class by Coach Tate as he's going to get players in that haven't got in tonight's ball game, and I just think that's really nice. You got a 12-point lead, and Ravenna's cut it down, and you got 49 seconds, but you're getting players in so they can be part of this win as well.
Very impressive move by Coach Tate, putting the other seniors in the game. Derek Picard, Kirk Ritter now on the court for the Wildcats. Derek has played good ball when he's been in there for the Cats. He's had some nice position rebounds underneath, some good baskets, and some points from the line. Same thing is true with Kurt. Kurt's had some nice outside shots as well as some nice driving for the Cats. Now, I said Rob Smith was a good person to put at the line, but he missed that one, and the Bulldogs pull within 10. Paul Schlaff up to Eric Webb. Eric back to Paul, across the line. Three people there, over to
That's how
Kurt.
you have to run it.
Kurt having some trouble controlling, gets it back. Eric with the ball now, 20 seconds remaining. Paul Schlaff down the corner to Rob Smith, up with the basket. No good. Mark Jacobs down court, intended for place. Too long that time, too long. You have 10 seconds left.
Now I can hear the fat lady
I
singing.
think you're right, Jeff.
I think this is 2 in a row for the Wildcats, 2 conference championships.
It ain't over
How
till
sweet.
it's over, but I think it's over.
That's right.
Eric Webb now with 9 seconds. 7, 5. Back out. 1. And there it is. Montague Wildcats, West Michigan Conference champions, 1988-89.
A lot of credit to the Wildcats, but I'd also say very impressive by the Bulldogs. They never quit out here tonight, and I thought it was really classic of them to, at the end, not hack and slap and try to get somebody hurt. They gave it their all, and when they knew it was over, they just let it come down and didn't try to cause any injuries.
Absolutely correct. And the Bulldogs, of course, wind up their conference record at 10-4, a very respectable mark, very respectable. And Coach Swengros out there talking to his team now. I'm sure telling him, guys, you know, it's disappointing that we lost this one, but you played well. You've got to be proud of your effort, not just tonight, but all season long. And I'm sure now they, too, will look forward to next week as they begin their March Madness against the the Muskegon Catholic Central team?
Well, you know, they've had an excellent year, and considering it, before the season started, they only had, I believe, about 3 or 4 days practice due to a lot of them being on that state runner-up football team. So they've had a lot of athletic success, finishing second in the conference, nothing to sneeze at. They should be very proud of their season.
Absolutely correct. And Coach Swingrose did mention that early in the season it was a little difficult putting things together because of that football championship season that they had, and as well as the fact that there was some recruiting pressures in camp, let's say, because of course Mark Jacobs was being recruited by several schools and finally made the decision to go to Western. But the Bulldogs can hold their heads up high as they head into next week's action. I should just mention before we close up here in the booth tonight that the junior varsity Wildcats also came out victorious tonight by a score of 94-69 over the junior varsity Bulldogs. I think that was probably the most points racked up by the Wildcat junior varsity team, and they too are conference champions in the junior varsity division. So Montague can be very proud of both their teams. The varsity team finished their regular season at 18-2, 12-2 in the conference. The junior varsity team finished overall at 17-3. Jeff, I think that'll just about do it from up here. I think we'll go down on court and see if we can scurry around and find a player or two, maybe more, to interview tonight with the season concluding action here at Montague High School. So fans, we'll be right back in just a minute. Good evening again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Montague High School, where we're on the court at this point with two of the team members of the Montague High School Wildcat Championship West Michigan Conference basketball team for 1988-89. Now, that's quite a mouthful. How did it sound, guys?
Well, it feels good being the champions. We came into this game thinking that we might have to share it, but coming out of it, it feels good being the only ones.
Well, the Bulldogs are playing very well down the stretch this season, but I'll tell you, tonight you got a lot of contributions from a lot of different people, and you just played excellent ball, I thought.
Well, yeah, Dennis Flynn and Eric Webb coming off the bench did a real good job for us. Dennis rebounding, and Eric looking to pass it and to get a lot of assists for him. So.
Okay, gentlemen, this is the second year in a row for the Wildcats as champions of the West Michigan Conference. You weren't on the varsity last year, but you will be back again next year. You're juniors this year, of course, both of you, and you have another year to look forward to. What's it feel like knowing that you're coming off from 2 championship years and knowing that you're going to be back again next year, Jake? Are you looking forward to that opportunity?
Yeah, I'm looking real forward to it. I think we'll be good next year, too. We have a lot of good sophomores coming up, and I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun.
Of course, next year you're going to have to provide a little bit of the leadership. This year the seniors are there, and now it's your turn next year. What do you see in that role? How's things looking there?
Well, Paul, Jim, and Tom really showed us around how to play, and it's going to be tough next year for us trying to show the younger people how to play and act on the court.
I'm sure you guys are up to it, though.
Absolutely. We noticed when you were out on the court this year that you were there with poise and some determination, and that's appreciated by everybody. Of course, we've commented several times how Coach Tate had a deep bench. Could put almost anybody in there. And how does it seem to be on the bench this year, but knowing that you're probably not going to be on the bench next year? Are you really thinking that that's going to be a better opportunity for you, Jake?
Yeah, it'll be fun. He told me tonight, too, that that's the way it's going to be. And I learned a lot from the seniors this year and leadership and stuff, and I'm just going to try to do what they did this year.
Of course, also this culminates for this portion of the season at least. You got another season starting next week, but this culminates for this portion of the season out there, and had a lot of the graduates come back and play. And is it pretty tough out there? Maybe you can just comment on it a little bit, Kevin.
Yeah, they come down and play.
You can just kind of comment on that a little bit. What happens out there, and had a lot of the graduates come back and play, and is it pretty tough out there? Maybe you can just comment on it a little bit, Kevin.
Yeah, they come down and play, like Rich Erdman and Dave and Randy. They all come down and play, show us around. And
Give you a lesson or two, huh?
Do you think that kind of activity helps your skills for the following season? In other words, when you're out there this coming summer, are you really thinking about Montague High School winter of '89-'90 for basketball?
Yeah, all the time. Just try to get better and better and show the people we can play basketball too.
Okay, well, gentlemen, we wish you the best of luck throughout the rest of this year. Are either of you going to play any spring sports for us this year?
Well, I'm going to be playing baseball.
How about you, Jake?
I think I'm done this year.
You're done. Okay, well, we look forward to seeing you back in the basketball uniform next year. Good luck to you. And we're going to get a couple more of your teammates in here right now, okay?
I'd like to congratulate both of you on a fine season. And again, as I mentioned, you got another season starting Tuesday. Well, excuse me, Monday. Your game doesn't start till Wednesday, but good luck on that too. And best of luck. We want to see you in the tournament finals and go as far as you can, guys.
Congratulations. If you just go right off to my right, we'll get the next two in here. Come right on in, guys, okay? Don't be bashful. I know you're not bashful, right? We just had two of your teammates on. They're both juniors. Now we have two seniors with us. The last regular season game for them at Montague High School. On my immediate left is Kurt Ritter, and on his left is Derek Picard. And guys, what's it seem like having completed your career? Now, how long have you been playing basketball in the Montague system? Did you start in the elementary program, Kurt?
Yeah, since 4th grade.
Since 4th grade, so you've really been with it like 8 or 9 years here. When you were in 4th or 5th grade, what did you think about in terms of your senior year? Were you thinking that you'd be conference champions?
I didn't really think about it since 4th grade.
I'm sure you didn't, but how does it seem to be conference champions as a senior team member?
It's great. It'll be a good thing to remember 10 years from now. It's good.
Might ask you the same questions, Derek. When did you start playing basketball?
Well, I started playing at Montague when I was a freshman. I transferred in from another school.
Okay. Did you play any elementary or junior high basketball?
I just played 7th and 8th grade. I didn't have a lot of play time. It's a real small school.
Okay. And then, and if I'm correct now, this you didn't you were not on the team last year, and so this is your first shot at the varsity, and this is a kind of nice shot to be conference champions. What's your feeling about the season and how it's went, and where you are right now?
Well, I feel really good about the year. I feel confident that we're going to do well in the tournaments. I'm just happy to be here.
Okay, gentlemen, you obviously, if our fans remember, didn't see a lot of court time all the time, but what does it seem like being a contributing member, but knowing that your chances on the court are going to be somewhat limited probably for most games? Was it tougher for you in practice, you think, or did you just enjoy the game so much that you wanted to hang in there despite the fact that you weren't getting a lot of court time?
I like to practice just as much as playing games, so it didn't really bother me, except for when they weren't doing too good, and I wish I could get in and help. But I like to practice just as much as playing the game, so it didn't bother me.
Okay, I think that's an important point. Can we talk about the younger kids coming up through the program right now? You were in the program since the 4th grade here, obviously. We know very well that not everybody's going to be a starter. Not everybody's going to get an awful lot of court time. What kind of advice can you give to the 4th graders this year, for instance, the 5th graders who might be disappointed about how many minutes they're getting on the court, even as 7th or 8th graders?
Well, a lot of it depends on them, because it depends on if they're dedicated during the summer and they want playing time, they have to practice. And if they don't really care if they're going to get a lot of playing time, then they don't have to play during the summer.
Derek, what as now the season progresses, you're conference champions, and that's got a nice ring to it. And now we progress into the tournament. What do you look for in the tournament? What do you see as our challenges in the tournament? And realistically, how far do you think maybe we can go?
Well, I think we'll meet the challenge of the tournaments. I don't think it's going to be easy by any means, but I think we'll do well. I wouldn't really venture a guess as how far we'd go.
Who do you see as our tough competition in the district? Who do you personally feel is going to be the toughest competition?
Well, I'd have to say it would probably be Shelby, because they're going to have the home court advantage if we play them, and that would be a tough game.
Of course, that's based on they played us awful tough this past week up there as well, and then I think they came back and beat Hart on their home court as well.
Yeah.
So
they've really picked it up lately.
Well, gentlemen, we wish you both the best of luck as the season concludes with March Madness now. And I'm sure that you will look upon this season as a one of a pleasurable experience and many fond memories when you're an old and decrepit guy like me. So,
well, and I would like to second that. You know, and a special congratulations to you guys, because I know it's tough sitting over there sometimes, as you said, Kurt. You like to get in and like to help, especially when maybe the guys aren't doing good. And I think it takes a special person to be able to do that. And I know I always appreciated it when I was coaching, and I'm sure Coach Tate does and Coach Schloff do too. So, you know, I think a special thank you goes out from myself to you guys, because I know exactly how that is.
I want to just ask one concluding question here, Kurt. What's it like to play for a coach like Coach Tate? Do you think he's been good for our program, whether you started or whether you didn't start?
He's helped me a lot for the program. He's really got it well organized, and he brought the team together, made them real close. And I think that's a big part of why we won the conference championship, because he makes us like one big family.
So you felt a part of the team even though you weren't on the court all the time?
Yeah, because I helped so much in practice.
Eric, I'll ask you the same question if you want to comment on that.
Well, like Kirk said, we're just happy family. We've worked together all the time, and we have fun, though it doesn't look like it sometimes. But it's worth it.
Not all families have fun all the time, you know, so it's understandable. You know, Larry, is we've interviewed a lot of the individuals, in fact, all of the team individuals this year, and Coach Tate. That's one thing that's always come out, is the team aspect of this thing. And again, I contribute a lot of that success also because of that type of attitude.
Guys, we wish you the best of luck as you go into next week's games, and good luck in your future lives as well, okay?
Kurt?
Go right on out here if you will, and maybe we can get Coach Tate to come in and say a couple quick remarks to us. Coach Tate is congratulating his seniors as well. So,
congratulations, Jim.
Thank you.
Good job, Coach. You're here tonight with a great big smile on your face. Is there a reason for that by any chance?
I feel so. I'm just so proud of those kids. I'm proud of the way they played, but I'm proud of the way they act, the way they practice, the way they conduct themselves around school. And Ray and I were talking on the bus coming back last Tuesday. This is so great because there's never going to be anybody in any community that's going to be able to say, yeah, they were conference champions, but they were jerks or they were bad students, or that nobody's ever going to be able to say any of that stuff, and that feels so good. And there's such a good feeling on our team right now. We've been practicing well, we've been playing well, and even after we lost, you know, a lot of people would be real concerned about how the kids reacted. We had the best practice we had all year the Monday after we lost at North Muskegon, so they got the right stuff inside, that's for sure.
You know, speaking on that loss, Jim, I wasn't able to be there as I was out of town, but
sometimes
you know, sometimes that works to your advantage, especially late in the season. You know, you had a long run of victories, and sometimes the kids start thinking, well, this is easy, and you start thinking that maybe it's too easy. And you know, you run against somebody, and we talked about this earlier, that we thought maybe North Muskegon was one of the teams that was probably going to give you a tough time because of the quickness of their outside shooting, and and as it turned out, that's exactly what happened. But I look at, you know, the kids played excellent ball. I was just in awe at times tonight, how unselfish they were, and some of the passes. And I think that probably transpired from that loss that happened last Friday night.
Yeah, I think what happened, well, I know what happened in the game. We started playing in about the last 4 or 5 minutes not to lose the game. And that's the kind of thing that happens when kids start to feel pressure. And Ray told me going home that it was going to be a good loss for us, that the kids were going to react well, the pressure was off, and we were going to be much more aggressive. And, you know, when you think back last year, we were very tentative in the tournament. And I don't think that's going to happen this year. We may not, you know, win in the tournament, but our kids are not going to be tentative. They're going to go out and make things happen, and we're playing with a lot of confidence now. And I don't like to lose. And I wish we could learn those things without losing, but if it was a good loss, then great. But North Muskegon played really well that night. They're going to be an up-and-down team, but they deserve all the credit. They put a lot of pressure on us at the end and made the plays that they had to make to win. But tonight, quality opponent. Our kids convinced themselves that they had as much to play for as Ravenna did. You know, and sometimes I'm sure Coach Svengros told Ravenna that they had a lot more to play for than we did, you know, getting a share of it. But our kids were not convinced of that, and the best thing about it to me was they played like champions. They played like champions all year, and it's so fitting that they are champions. I could just bust.
I hate to single out one kid because they all contributed, but I have to say this. I thought Tom Cedarquist just played outstanding tonight. We commented up there. He just did so many things.
I just love Tom. I know a lot of the fans saw the article in the Chronicle last night. Tom is the only player that was not mentioned. And I had given the author of the article all the kids' names, and I'm sure it was an oversight, but I talked to Tom first thing this morning. This was his last home game. This is a kid, a lot of fans don't realize this, he can only practice about 1 day a week because his legs hurt so badly. The last 2 days he got dressed and was going to shoot on the side, and it hurt too much to shoot on the side, so he had to kind of lay down because it felt like ground glass was in his legs. It's a kid that never complains. Everybody on the team loves him. He comes to play every night. He loves the game, and why he endures all that pain and suffering is what I guess makes high school athletics, when somebody tells me that it's just a game, I know it's a whole lot more than that. At least to a lot of people it isn't. And I'm so proud of Tom as a member of our team, but it's so fitting he was able to do it at home, his last home game, and a key game. I'm really proud of him.
Coach, over the last couple of years here, your first 2 years with us, you're 39-4, but who's counting, as I remember, right? But that's certainly an outstanding record, attributable in large part, of course, to your coaching prowess. But if you had to use 3 words to describe why you've had such success with our students and athletes at Montague High School, what would those 3 words be?
Let me give you about 6. Ray Schlaff is one. Great kids, and I think a great school system, if I had to pick 3 things. Roger Finland and I talked about this job, the possibility of this job a couple of years ago. And to be honest with you, 5 years ago, I would not have been interested for double my salary because I saw some things that were happening here that I was not pleased with, and a lot of things that in the athletic program that just weren't right. But I was convinced in working with Roger and some things that have been going on in the high school, some changes that have been being made, that this was a place where I was going to have a chance to do what I coach the way I wanted to and be successful. Ray Schlaff is an unbelievable person. He's an unbelievable coach. He's the backbone of our program. Kids, fans may come to the game and wonder why our kids always have their shirts tucked in, why they always run to the bench during timeouts, why they always hand the ball to the official, never say anything. They learn that stuff in the first 3 weeks playing for Ray, and they learn it very quickly or they don't last. And Ray and I both believe we would rather have good people than good players. And if a kid does not have the right kind of an attitude, or if he's not willing to fit into a team, or if he's not willing to sacrifice for the group, he's not going to last. And the kids that we have, I always tell parents that apples don't fall far from the tree, but we've got some parents that have done a great job of raising their young men, and I know they're awfully proud tonight too. It's nice to win a championship, but I would have been as proud of these kids no matter what their record had been this year, because they play the game the way you're supposed to play it. They act the way you're supposed to act. They're champions in every sense of the word, and the fact that we're 18-2 just adds to the luster, but nothing could detract from my opinion of these kids. They're terrific.
You get a second here, that's for sure.
Okay, Coach, can we talk a little bit about March Madness now? March Madness comes up next week, of course. You do a first-round bye, and I have 2 questions for you. What's it like in terms of preparing the team with a first-round bye when everybody else is playing and you're not? And secondly, what do you see as the difficult parts in preparing for the first game that you have on Wednesday night?
Okay. First of all, we're going to prepare this way. I don't like drawing buys in the tournament. I just soon play the first night, the first game myself. But it does give us a couple of days to prepare, and we do want to go into the tournament with being able to do a couple more things defensively, especially with pressure, than what we've been able to do, and we'll be able to work on that regardless of who we play. We're going to go over to Shelby and shoot for about an hour and a half tomorrow and get a little used to the gymnasium, come back 2 good practices on Monday and Tuesday, and get ready to play on Wednesday. We prepare ourselves. It's kind of like we were talking about with the North Muskegon game. We want to go into the tournament aggressive. We want to be the actors and not the reactors. We want to. The way I look at it, we have the best team. We have the best talent in the tournament. and we have to make some things happen. If we sit back and let other teams dictate to us, then we're not taking advantage of what we have. So we're going to work real hard on being the actors and not the reactors in the tournament. The difficult part of the district tournament, I think it's the toughest tournament to win. But I think the real difficult part of it is the fact that we're going to be playing teams for the third time, whether it's Shelby or whether it's Whitehall. And anytime you're playing somebody for the third time, they're very familiar with the kinds of things you do, what your players like to do. And in a tournament, they've been told it's a new season, anything can happen, and that's really true. I've seen a lot of upsets, but if our kids go into the tournament aggressively and playing the way we've been playing, we're not going to be upset.
Okay, Coach. Well, we know that your season will end sometime, whether it's next week or the third Saturday in March in Ann Arbor. It's going to end. Can you give me 2 words? I see we have to be cutting off here in a minute because we're probably running out of time.
He's into words. 3 words,
right,
2 words.
Right. What's it look like for you next year?
We're just going to reload and go after him again. Ray keeps developing players on the JVs. We've got 6 quality players coming back, and we've got 5 or 6 kids that can fit right in and help us on the varsity. We're not going to be big. We weren't real big this year. We've got some people that are going to have to step forward, but I got all the confidence in the world that those kids are going to do it again. And we may not win a championship again, but that's going to be our goal. And we may not have a great record, but that's going to be our goal. And when our kids have the kind of success they've had the last 2 years, success breeds success. And we're going to be fun to watch, I'll tell you that, and they're going to play the game the right way. And the fans, I think it's going to be a treat for them to watch them play next year, too.
Okay, Coach. Well, in closing, I just want to say thanks for all you've done for the development of our program. The reason that we're doing so well is largely due to you, and we really appreciate the effort that you've put into that development, okay? Good luck as you enter March Madness, and we'll see you again.
Good luck, Jim. Congratulations again.
Well, that's it from Montague High School for tonight, where the Wildcats came out victorious in the final home contest of the West Michigan Conference action. I remind you that we will be broadcasting tournament games on Wednesday, or from Shelby High School on Wednesday, and again the finals. But we're not sure when they'll be on the air. We'll let you know via Centel Cable Television as soon as we can. Please stay tuned for that information. Until next time, then, from Montague High School, this is Larry Lindquist, along with
Jeff Peterson,
saying good night.